call this meeting to order of the Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders, June 13th, 2019. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Freeholder Estrada.
Present.
Freeholder Garrettson. Here. Freeholder Granados.
Here.
Freeholder Hudak. Freeholder Palmieri Muedad. Freeholder Staten.
Here.
Freeholder Williams.
Here.
And Chairman Mirabella.
Here.
Chairman, you have 6 freeholders present.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Will everyone please rise for the prayer and salute to the flag?
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will, and to grant the light of his spirit on all who work for justice and peace. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, please read the statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
The chair wishes to announce that, pursuant to the requirements of New Jersey statutes annotated, Title 10, Chapter 4, Section 10 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Union has been given by mailing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2018, along with periodic changes necessitated by circumstances, to the newspapers circulating within the County of Union who are designated to receive such notice, and by posting the annual meeting schedule for the year 2019 in the Administration Building, and further by filing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2019 with the Office of the County Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We'll approve communications at the next regular meeting on June 20th. I understand we have a presentation, but we're waiting for a few students to arrive, so we'll, Freeholder Garrettson, we'll hold off on that, and when the students can come, we'll interrupt the regular order of business and go on with the presentation. Okay? We'll move on to the Office of the County Clerk. I see our clerk, Joanne Rajapi. Please come forward.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, freeholders. It is my pleasure to have you introduce one amendment resolution tonight, and that would be amending a contract that we have with the Mutual Group of Mountainside to provide a survey of our filing system in our 7,000 square foot record room, reconfiguration, shelving design, drawings, and specifications for moving areas when we do our renovation. And this is in the amount of $29,985.
Okay. Any questions for the clerk? Joanne, if you can, I know about this project, and I know the freeholders do, but can you just talk a little bit about why you're reconfiguring that room, and
Yes.
maybe a quick timeline of what you expect to that time frame to happen?
Yes, oh, certainly. For the past 2 years, we have a plan to enlarge areas of our 3 offices. We have a records recording area, we have a passport area, and we have an election area. The election and passport areas are extremely small. It's not unusual to have a line down the corridor for our passport office, and only 2 or 3 people at a time can fit in our elections office. So we are at a premium for space, as you can imagine, in the old courthouse building. But we find, as I mentioned, we have a 7,000 3-story square foot area called the record room. And in there are tens of thousands of books that we cannot get rid of. By law, we have to keep them. They're mortgages, deeds, liens. We don't have any after 1980s because we were permitted to put them on a digital system. So the books are prior to that. We are taking room from that record room to gain space to enlarge a passport area and the election area. The problem is that the books in the record room are in sequential order. They are numbered, and then there are indexes that are alphabetically in order. Take the Dewey Decimal System and times it by 3, and that's the kind of system. So you just can't move a book here. You have to move all the books there. It's a big job, and we've had other design companies come in and look at it, and they've basically thrown up their hands. So I know this group can do it because we've talked about it, and they have a plan.
Okay, good.
Thank
You, Joanne.
You're
Any
welcome.
questions? All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll move on to the prosecutor, and I see the first assistant there. Mr. Sinardis, how are you?
Good, Chairman, thank you. Freeholders, the Office of the Prosecutor has 3 items on for this evening.
Okay, any questions for the prosecutor? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman.
Department of Administrative Services, I see Director Scutari.
The Department of Administrative Services has 5 resolutions on the agenda. I will try to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions for the director?
Chair,
Yes, Freeholder Granados.
thank you. Director, if you don't mind elaborating on number 4, please. Is there any savings, et cetera?
Sure. Number 4 is our health care for our pass-through for our medical and prescription. And this is actually a decrease of $962,766 from last year. So we're almost down $1 million.
Close to it.
Close.
Thank
I
you,
said
Director.
almost.
That's good. Thank you, Director.
Good news.
Thank you, Chair.
Yep, anything else? Director, number 5, can you talk just on a high level the kinds of items we're trying to auction off or get rid of?
Sure. I actually have a detailed list. I won't read you all
Just high
71
level.
items.
No, high level, the kinds of things.
Yeah, we have a bunch of trucks and passenger vans, sedans, and then we have rotary mowers. There's a bunch of those. There's a loader bucket, snowplow parts, all that we don't use anymore. That
Okay.
there's
Very good. No, that's
Good.
fine. Just high level, that's enough. All right, anything else? Okay. All right, very good. Thanks, Director. All right, we're going to interrupt the normal order of business. I'm going to call on Freeholder Garrettson for the presentation. Freeholder, please come forward.
Oh.
And we'll ask our wonderful guest from Hillside to please join us.
So good evening, everyone. This evening, I wanted to bring a group that's been doing some really interesting work. They were actually right in our county just this yesterday, but they wanted to share with the freeholders the work that they're doing. So I'm going to pass this over and have you each introduce yourself, but also to talk a little bit about the project for the freeholders, so you know, so we know what you're working on. So, our friends.
I'm Chris Sidwa, and I'm the principal of Hillside High School.
My name is Paul Skelton. I'm a teacher at Hillside High School, and myself and another faculty member, Ms. Celadella Cuna, kind of spearheaded a program to try to get our students out into the Hillside community. Our high school is a tremendous place, and what we're trying to do is let the people in our town and in the county know that, you know, what we do. So our initiative yesterday was Liberty Avenue Park is right across from our high school. There's part of the Elizabeth River runs through it. So we had a number of students, 27 students joined us yesterday, along with Ms. Garrettson and 3 of our school board members, Ms. Cook, who is here today, Mr. Chapman, and our school board president, Mr. Adande, joined us yesterday to clean up not only the park but the river as well. The students that were there pulled about 25 large garbage bags out of the river, and then a whole bunch of other big stuff, shopping carts, an oxygen tank, a whole bunch of stuff, fencing, siding. We could have built a house when we got done yesterday. But it's students in our district, students in our high school, who really have been pushing this. Ms. Celadella Cuna and I just kind of pushed it along. Along the way, we got in touch with the county, and Ms. Garrettson was nice enough to kind of push us along, and we thank the Freeholder Board for supporting the initiative that we did. We had members of the County Parks Department out with us yesterday, providing bags and trucks and wheelbarrows and boots and gloves and tools and equipment and support, you know, with us, you know, showing, you know, what the poison ivy was and what to grab and what not to grab. So, you know, it was really an effort by students, staff, led by Ms. Sidwa, of course, and then the county for giving us the support that we needed. And we couldn't have done it without that support, and we thank you, and we hope to be able to do things as we move forward. This is Mateus Ramos. He's a senior at the school. He's graduating in 8 days, so he'll be gone, but there is a great group of students behind him that is hopefully going to carry the torch, as well as Mateus and the senior class that's leaving us has been able to.
Yeah, like you said, like Mr. Skelton said, I'm Mateus Ramos. I'm a senior at Hillside High School, and I'm also the president of the student council. And I would like to thank the freeholders for supporting us. Yeah, that's about it.
My name is Kimberly Cook. I'm the Vice President of the Board of Education. I would like to thank our freeholders. They've shown so much support to our school system. It's great. I want to thank our students. They came to us with this idea. They said, this is something we want to do. So we helped them move along, and we could not have done it without our freeholders in our county parks giving us that assistance. And yes, they did have a few hidden treasures. Some of them went home. But we had a great time. It was a joy working with them yesterday. And they were not afraid to get into the murky waters. And they are clean now. We hope to continue this effort to keep our waters clean. Thank you.
So under our former chair, Freeholder Granados, he actually has done a lot and been in our community doing a lot of the gardening. So I wanted to make sure that he was present in this presentation because we hope that as high school students, you'll connect with some of the gardening in some of our elementary schools. So I just wanted to make sure I put a name with a face. And also, because you're so innovative, we've been doing some tracking in Hillside, looking at some of the STEM work. So we just wanted to really, again, as a collective body, say thank you and present this to you. And we know that there's other students. We did talk about the students were going to give us some different ideas to the Freeholder Board about what they like to see with the park. So we just wanted to show a small representation tonight. But this resolution is on behalf of all the freeholders. We thank you so much for doing this cleanup. We've listed all the wonderful students and everyone who participated. So we thank you for your participation. And here's the resolution.
I couldn't be more happier and I couldn't be prouder of our students. We really do a good job at Hillside High School, and I'm nothing without my students and without the support I get from the freeholders, especially from Angela Garrettson. We've been together for a long time. And Ms. Cook, she's always in my corner. So I want to thank you again. I am framing this. This is going, yes, this is going right in the center hallway. Thank you again. And this doesn't stop. We will continue to do the cleaning of the parks, because if not us, then who?
Okay. We just want to take a quick picture. We'll just stand over. You want to right here? Thank you. Thank you.
Photobomb. All right, very nice. Well, thanks to the staff and the students at Hillside High School, and thanks to Freeholder Garrettson for making sure the resources were available and having this presentation to raise the awareness of the hard work that the students are doing. I nominate Freeholder Granados to go in the murky
I'm going to build a house with those items inside there. What are you talking about?
Next year, I'm using all the authority I have as the acting chairman tonight to appoint you to that position. So,
That's
Freeholder,
it.
thank you for your...
Me and Zuber, we're going to be in there together.
And thanks again. I know it's a school night. Have a good night. And congratulations on your upcoming graduation, too.
Good luck on your finals.
All right, we'll move back to our order of business, and I'll invite Director Charles up, the Department of Corrections.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. The Department of Corrections has one resolution on for your consideration. It's amending a prior resolution. We're exercising the option on the drug and alcohol program we have with the CEC and the GEO Group.
Okay, very good. Any questions for the director? Freeholder Shada.
Just a quick question. How many individuals have gone through the program?
We average about 86 per day.
86 per day.
Mhm.
Wow.
That includes both male and female.
Good.
Okay, anything else?
Glad to hear that.
All right, Director, thanks.
Thank you.
Department of Economic Development, Assistant County Manager and Director Wagner.
Good evening. The Department of Economic Development has two resolutions for your consideration, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Department of Engineering, Public Works and Facilities Management, Director Graziano.
Good evening, Vice Chair. Freeholders. I have 10 resolutions on tonight for your consideration. I'll try and answer any questions you have.
Freeholder Williams.
Hi, Director. I just have a question about number 1, the bridge improvement program. Could you give a little bit of detail which bridges, or is it all the bridges?
It's a bunch. So the state goes out every couple of years and does an inspection on all of our bridges, and they come back with different categories of either major or minor repairs or maintenance that has to be done throughout the county. So we went out to bid this year. We have one contractor. This is encompassing 44 bridges within the county. And they're minor repairs, either like cracks in the on the sidewalks, or some major repairs. Some of the pipes are a little out of skew, or they're not level. There's some cracks in the forms, in the concrete forms in the bridges. So we just hired one contractor to go out through the whole county and get everything fixed at one shot. So it's all through. I mean, there's a bunch in every town. So.
Thank
and
you.
I can give you a list if you like a list. There's there's a full list of all the 44 bridges, and I'd be glad to forward that out to you.
That would be fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Freeholder Shada.
Yes, and number 1 again on the
Sure.
Question of the bridges. This is the ones that they have earmarked for fixing certain minor things. How about is there any deficient bridges in the list that the state provided?
Yes. Structurally deficient bridges?
Structurally
Yes,
deficient, yes.
Yes, and those are being handled. In fact, there's a couple being done this summer. There's one in Berkeley Heights being done, the Sherbrooke Avenue culvert across Mountain Avenue, and then there's one through our reservation, which is also being done, and those two are going to be fully replaced. So we're box culverts, and
So
they're being done this
were-
summer.
Those were.
Structurally deficient.
Okay.
Yes.
Beyond those, I know that.
Yes, there's other ones that are out there. I don't have them in front of me, but I can give you the full
Okay,
report
we
if
have
you'd
a
like.
chance, yes.
Absolutely.
All right, Freeholder, thank you. Any other thing? All right, Director, thanks.
Thank you, Vice Chair.
Yep. We'll move on to the Department of Human Services, Director Anderson.
Good evening, Vice Chair and members of the board. The Department of Human Services has two resolutions on for your consideration tonight, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, any questions for the Director? Freeholder Garrison.
Can you please just, a little bit of the acronym, tell us a little bit of what it does?
Number 1?
Yes, please, yes, please. Supernova Continuum of Care, COC.
The Supernova Continuum of Care it's really for HUD, and it is for the homeless population. Supportive housing, permanent housing, transitional veterans. So it's really from the HUD. This is in addition to back in May, you provided, you approved the award of 4.2 to receive that award from HUD, and this is just the addition of $151,000 for administrative services to do to add to that program.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Seeing no other questions, thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Move on to Public Safety, Director Moran.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. Department of Public Safety has 3 resolutions on for your consideration. I'm trying to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thanks, Director. Any questions? So I see Springfield is joining dispatch. Is that right?
Yes.
They're continuing their.
Yes, they originally came to the dispatch center in 2012. And traditionally, we've done 3- and 5-year shared service agreements, but with the assistance of county council, we can go up to 10 years for shared service agreements, so that's the option that we went for.
I think that's a great idea. It's good for Springfield, and it gives us a long view of the support we can provide for them, and that's a good thing. Good.
Thank you.
All right, Freeholder Williams.
Yeah, I just had a question about the previous agreement and the costs. This one, for the 10 years, it seems significantly less per year. Is that just part of what you were able to negotiate?
Yes, when Springfield first came on, we just did fire and EMS dispatch for them. Then they added 911, so we acted as their primary 911 center. But since that time, we've had other agencies come on, and that economies of scale has allowed us to actually decrease their cost into the center. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chairman.
Good. Anything else? All right, Director, thank you.
thank you.
Office of the County Council, Mr. Barry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Office of the County Council has one item on tonight's agenda, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great. Is there any questions for the County Council? All right, Bob, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll move on to freeholder-sponsored resolutions. Is there any comment on the freeholder resolutions
I may have a laudatory, Chairman,
for next week?
for next week, yep.
Okay, all right, sure,
Thanks.
freeholder. Okay, I don't see anybody. All right, very good. I think we're good. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good job. 30 minutes.